individual differences. Individual differences, referring to the extent and kind of variations or similarities among people on some of the important psychological aspects such as intelligence, personality, interest, and aptitude. There are factors that bring about student diversity. First, socioeconomic status. The millionaire's lifestyle differs from that of the middle income or lower income group. Second, thinking, learning style. Some of you learn better by seeing something, others by just listening, and still others by manipulating something. Third, exceptionalities. In class, there may be one who has difficulty in spoken language, comprehension, or in seeing, hearing, etc. Benefits of diversity in the classroom. First, students' self-awareness is enhanced by diversity. Second, student diversity contributes to cognitive development. Third, student diversity prepares learners for their role as responsible members of society. Fourth, student diversity can promote harmony. Classroom strategies for student diversity. First, encourage learners to share their personal history and experiences. Second, integrate learning experiences and activities which promote students' multicultural and cross-cultural awareness. Third, aside from highlighting diversity, identify pattern of unity that transcend group differences. Fourth, communicate high expectations to students from all subgroups. Fifth, use varied instructional methods to accommodate student diversity in learning styles. Sixth, vary the examples you use to illustrate concepts in order to provide multiple contexts that are relevant to students from diverse backgrounds. Seventh, adapt to the students' diverse backgrounds and learning styles by allowing them personal choice and decision-making, opportunities concerning what they will learn and how they will learn it. 8. Diversify your methods of assessing and evaluating student learning. 9. Purposely form small group discussions of students from diverse backgrounds. You can form groups of students with different learning styles, different cultural backgrounds, etc. Learning, thinking styles, and multiple intelligences. Learning and thinking styles refers to the preferred way an individual processes information. They describe a person's typical mode of thinking, remembering, or problem solving. Furthermore, styles are usually considered to be bipolar dimensions. There are several perspectives about learning and thinking styles: sensory preferences and global analytic continuum. Sensory preferences. Individuals tend to gravitate toward one or two types of sensory input and maintain a dominance in one of the following types. First, visual learners. These learners must see their teacher's actions and facial expression to fully understand the content of the lesson. They tend to prefer sitting in front so no one would block their view. Richard further breaks down visual learners into visual iconic. Those who prefer this form of input are more interested on visual imagery such as film, graphic displays, or pictures in order to solidify learning. Visual symbolic. Those who prefer this form of input feel comfortable with abstract symbolism such as mathematical formulae or the written word. They would prefer to read book than a map and would like to read about things that hear about them. Auditory learners. They learn best through verbal lectures, discussions, talking things through and listening to what others have to say. Auditory learners also fall into two categories: The learners and the talkers. The learners remember things said to them and make the information their own, while the talkers, they are the one who prefer to talk and discuss. Tactile, kinesthetic learners. These persons benefit much from a hands-on approach, actively exploring the physical world around them. Global analytic continuum. Analytic thinkers tend toward linear step-by-step processes of learning. They tend to see finite elements of patterns rather than the whole. They are the tracers, while global thinkers lean towards non-linear thought and tend to see the whole pattern rather than particle elements. They are the foresters, who give attention only the overall structures and sometimes ignore details. Several theorists have tried the global analytic continuum, the left or right brain continuum. In accord with Rother-Spearer's model, the left brain dominant individuals is portrayed as the linear, verbal, mathematical thinker, while the right brain person is one who is viewed as global, non-linear, and holistic in thought preferences. Multiple intelligence. The theory of multiple intelligence was first described by Howard Gardner in Frames of Mind, 1983. Gardner defined intelligence as an ability or set of abilities that allows a person to solve a problem or fashion a product that is valued in one or more cultures. There are 9 distinct forms of intelligence. Visual spatial intelligence, or picture smart. Learning visually in organizing ideas spatially, seeing concepts in action in order to understand them. The ability to see things in one's mind in planning to create a product or solve a problem. Verbal or linguistic, or word smart, learning through the spoken and written word. This intelligence was always valued in the traditional classroom and traditional assessments of intelligence and achievement. Mathematical or logical intelligence, learning through reasoning and problem solving, also highly valued in the traditional classroom, where students were asked to adopt the logically sequenced delivery of instruction. Bodily or kinesthetic intelligence, learning through interaction with one's environment. This intelligence is not the domain of overly active learners. It promotes understanding through concrete experience. Musical intelligence, learning through patterns, rhythms, and music. This includes not only auditory learning, but the identification of pattern through all the senses. Intrapersonal intelligence, learning through feelings, values, and attitudes. This is decidedly affected component of learning through which students place value on what they learn and take ownership for their learning. Interpersonal intelligence, learning through interaction with others, not the domain of children who are simply talkative or overly social. This intelligence promotes collaboration and working cooperatively with others. Naturalist intelligence, learning through classification, categories, and hierarchies. The naturalist intelligence picks up on subtle differences in meaning. It is not simply the study of nature, it can be used in all areas of study. Existential intelligence, learning by seeing the big picture. Why are we here? What is my role in the world? What is my place in my family, school, and community? This intelligence seeks connections to real-world understanding and application of new learning. Learners with exceptionalities. Disability versus handicap. Disability is a measurable impairment or limitation that interferes with a person's ability, while handicap is a disadvantage that occur as a result of disability or impairment. Specific cognitive or academic difficulties. First, learning disabilities. It involves difficulties in specific cognitive processes like perception, language, memory, or metacognition that are not due to other disabilities like mental retardation, emotional or behavioral disorders, sensory impairments. Second, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. ADHD is manifested in either or both of these. Difficulty in focusing and maintaining attention or recurrent hyperactive and impulsive behavior. Third, speech and communication disorders. There is difficulty in spoken language, including voice disorders, inability to produce the sounds correctly, stuttering, difficulty in spoken language, comprehension that significantly hamper classroom performance. Fourth, emotional conduct disorders. This involves the presence emotional states like depression and aggression over a considerable amount of time that they notably disturb learning and performance in school. Fourth, autism. It is a condition manifested by different levels of social interaction and communication, repetitive behaviors, and limited interests. Individuals with autism usually have an intense need for routine and a predictable environment. Sixth, mental retardation. It refers to the significant sub-average intelligence and deficits in adaptive behavior. There is difficulty in managing activities of daily living and in conducting themselves appropriately in social situations. Physical disabilities and health. Impairments. This involves physical or medical conditions, including in one or more of these: limited energy and strength, reduced mental alertness, and little muscle control. Severe and multiple disabilities. It refers to the presence of two or more different types of disability, at times at a profound level. Sensory impairments. First, visual impairments. These are conditions when there is a malfunction of the eyes or optic nerves that prevent normal vision even with corrective lenses. Second, hearing impairments. This involves malfunction of the ear auditory nerves that hinder perception of sounds within the frequency range or normal speech. Third, giftedness. This involves a significantly high level of cognitive development. There is unusually high ability or aptitude in one or more of these aspects: intellectual ability, aptitude in academic subjects, creativity, visual or performing arts, or leadership. People first language. This language trend involves putting the person first, not the disability. Other suggestions for referring to those with disabilities include avoiding generic labels. People with mental retardation referred to the mental retarded. Emphasizing abilities, not limitations. For instance, uses a wheelchair is preferable to confine to a wheelchair. Avoiding euphemisms such as physically challenged, which are regarded as condescending and avoid the real issues that result from disability. Avoiding implying illness or suffering. Had polio is preferable to is a polio victim and has multiple sclerosis is preferable to suffer from multiple sclerosis.